Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the channel. Tobin here with you. Appreciate everybody checking on in as the Miami Dolphins are getting ready for the woeful Carolina Panthers this week. Big-time favorites at home. We've been talking about this little stretch here at home. Dolphins started off so many road games in the first month of the season. They come back, and now they have an opportunity to kind of fatten up that record with a couple of home games before you go into this big-time Sunday night football matchup. Of course, it is the NFL. Nobody ever wants to say, shh. Most dangerous team. That's what Mike McDaniel's going to say. He's going to be like, hey, we know what a team is like that's lost 5 in a row. We've been there. And it's adorable. I do appreciate that for Mike McDaniel. They've done a good job really honing in on the moment, really not looking ahead on anybody. They have done a good job of not being fat cats because the bad teams that they have taken on this year, they have pretty much handled. I guess Patriots was probably the closest because the Patriots are, they have been bad. And the Dolphins did shoot themselves in the foot a lot that game. And I think if you were probably to look at the Dolphins and say, like, what is the main thing that they could clean up offensively, it has been the turnovers. I mean, they have been a team that has been prone to put the ball on the ground. We saw this the first drive of the season, right, with Connor Williams, Tua Tagovailoa, and they've been able to clean that up. Tua this week talking about the interceptions because he did have a couple of stinkers, especially the 100-yard pick six. Nobody ever wants that from your quarterback, and says that the film has given him plenty to work on.
Oh, any interception, any turnover, anything like that allows more than a correction for preparing for a team, and that's not something that, as a leader of our offense, should be happening, and that's not something I should be doing, and I've been very aware of that. So, doing my best, working as best as I can to, hopefully eliminate those within these next upcoming games.
Yeah, you would like to see a clean game from Tua. I mean, thankfully, look, the offense has been so damn explosive and so overpowering that against the bad teams, you'll last. We saw, though, against the teams like the Bills, they were doomsday. I mean, you can't, against good teams, you can't go into Philadelphia, turn the ball over 3 times and not get a turnover yourself and think to yourself, hey, we're going to be okay out of that game. No, you're not going to be able to do that. You need to, protect the football, especially get better at it. And look, last year with the Dolphins, it was the pre-snap penalties. That was a big thing. This time around, it has been not just to his turnovers with the interceptions, although I think he has 5 on the year. I think his only clean game was the Broncos game. I think. But honestly, the fumbles have been a big thing too. They've had some critical fumbles at some critical times. A lot of that on Mostert. They, of course, have had the snap issues with Tua and Connor Williams that, have cost him at some times, could have cost him at another time. So there are some things with the football and football protection that they do have to clean up a little bit and get things right. And I think that these are the good games. These are the games where, look, they probably could go out and afford a turnover or 2 against the Carolina Panthers and still come out victorious because they're rebuilding. They have a very young quarterback. They have a quarterback who is looking up to Tua and is just finding his way through the league. And Bryce Young might be awesome. He's, talked this week about Tua being, kind of that inspiration to him of wanting to go to Alabama and, Tua being the kind of first in line of those quarterbacks at Alabama that really made the receiver cool when it was really for a long time just who is the monster running back that nobody could stop. And I think that's kind of what Tua's inspiration is for this game. So that's one thing that I'm looking out for going into it. Jaylen Waddle also had some interesting thoughts on where the offense has stood through 5 weeks, and he believes that they haven't seen the best of it yet.
Honestly, I really think like the best is still yet to come. Honestly, I feel like we hold another, hey, keep it down there, keep it down there. Hey, keep it down there. I feel like our best is yet to come. Like, you seen the tape and Reek saying.
There you go. And I think honestly, when he says the best is yet to come for the offense, I think he means the best is yet to come from himself because we still really haven't had that breakout game from Jaylen Waddle. I mean, we got our first Waddle last week with his incredible celebration and him doing the wind-up Waddle, which is always a delight. But we've had good games from Jaylen Waddle. I mean, he hasn't been a slouch, don't get me wrong. But it's been interesting because last year, this was an offense that was so reliant on Tyreek and Jaylen. Like, as explosive as they were and sixth in the league, those were the guys that they always went to. And we were always wondering to ourselves, hey, can you have an offense where both of these guys are going to eat? And Waddle has had, some decent games, has, gone 4 catches, 78 yards, 4 catches, 86 yards, missed a game against Denver, comes back against Buffalo, and goes 4 catches, 46 yards. And then last week, 5 catches on 10 targets, most targets they had at him, and got his first touchdown. An incredible catch, by the way. I mean, just really a one. I almost feel like it's gone under the radar how damn good that catch was that Jaylen Waddle has had. But we have not had the quote-unquote Jaylen Waddle game. It has mostly been an offense that has starred Tyreek Hill and Devon Achane. And that's going to be the interesting dynamic going into this week for me is that, okay, Devon's not there, and Devon has been like Mr. Explosive Play to Tyreek and has been like the counterpunch. If you're not going to Tyreek, the other guy who can touch the ball is Devon Achane, and he could go to the house. But we haven't yet gotten that really from Jaylen Waddle, where he has just been absolutely gone. Has had some big plays, and even on some of the plays where Tua has been targeting him, there's been some picks. So this is, I think when Jaylen says that and talks about, the offense can still get into a better play and the best is yet to come, I really think that's almost a personal talk from himself. I think that he feels that once he is cooking it up to speed and is playing to the best of his abilities, that the offense could go to another level, because obviously it's a big year for him. This is the big year as far as like showing out. What kind of contract is he going to get? Where is he at? And so Jaylen Waddle is usually like, one of the happiest dudes. Fins for the win is like a delight. It's almost like he's just such great energy around the team at all times. And so that when Jaylen Waddle really gets humming and you got him going and Tyreek, it can be super dangerous for this team. So that's definitely something I'm going to be looking out for this week when they take on Carolina is this the Jaylen Waddle game? Is this the game where he really breaks out, gets over the century mark, maybe gets you a couple touchdowns? We get a couple of Waddles out there, and we're seeing some incredible stuff from him. The other thing that we have to look out for this week, we have some health issues. We mentioned Achane. We know that he's out. Connor Williams has shown up on the injury report, and Friday I'm sure we'll get a better status, but did not practice for the last 2 days, is dealing with that groin. I don't know if we have a Teron Armstead situation on our hands where they're trying to maybe let him just get ready for game day. He is a vet, but look, anytime that guy's not going to play, and I can't believe I'm saying this after what the first couple of weeks were, but when he doesn't play, and who steps in, makes me a little that makes me Joe Philbin queasy, dude. That makes me a little nervous when that is a possibility. Robert Hunt was also on the limited on Thursday, so stuff to keep a lookout for there. Jalen Phillips, he continues to be limited with his oblique. Jeff Wilson, he's on the way back from his injury. Going to be interesting to see if he's going to be up to speed. Braxton Barris is practicing fully. He's been dealing with a knee. And Alec Ingold and Robert Jones also dealing with it. Nick Needham was limited. He's on his mend as well. So, but I think the one that's critical you're looking at right now is Connor Williams. How's that injury going to come through, and how is he developing? We also have the debut this week of Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool is a moose. Photos have confirmed, if you have not seen a Football Sunday, he is a moose. Or if you are Tyreek Hill, you have other descriptions of Chase Claypool.
Yeah, he's a big dude. Like, what's crazy is, man, like, he looks like a vending machine out there when he's running. You feel me? So very fast, very fluid in his routes. So he's definitely going to be a huge addition to this team, man. Whether it's blocking, whether it's receiving the ball, whether it's whatever this team needs him to do, man. So very, happy to have him here. I feel like, with the room that we got, like everybody's competitive. Everybody wants to get better each and every day. So that's going to help him get better. You feel me? So it's all about, challenging each other, because at the same time, I'm telling these young guys, hey, man, like y'all making my job easy, or hey, you feel me? Like, so I'm excited to have him.
Yeah, so look, it's going to be interesting to see. They do not have a big-bodied receiver like this. There was some rumblings that he might be a tight end. Mike McDaniel's not really touching that with a confirmation. He's saying he's a wide receiver, but everybody is everything on this team. Positionless, I believe, is what was thrown out there from the positional coaches this week. So I think you have a guy here who's clearly talented. I mean, you look what he got traded for last year. Pain in the ass. Says losing got contagious. We'll see. I'm going into it with like zero expectations of Chase Claypool. And I'm ready to kick back and be pleasantly surprised. Let's see what happens. Let's see if he does contribute anything. It's kind of the same way with Robbie Chosen. I was just like, well, I mean, like, I know that it's been tough sledding everywhere he's going, but let's see where this leads to. And look, he caught a bomb in a blowout. It's been but I think that with this, they're acting, a little bit more of a physical big receiver in addition to what his speed talent is. And again, I do think with Achane being out, because Achane was so effective with all of his touches, I do think there are opportunities that are opening up, because I really didn't expect Devon Achane to be this impactful this quick. And I do believe that has to be made up for in some way. This is not like Jalen Ramsey going down and you haven't had him yet. This isn't like Jalen Phillips going down and you haven't had him yet. Or even Teron Armstead. We know what Teron Armstead's capable of because we've seen him play, but Devon Achane's been putting up production, and that needs to be picked up from somewhere else. So that opportunity is there. One more note on Tyreek. He apparently says he is going to comply now with the socks. I don't understand Sockgate. I think the thing that's funny about it is the NFL not only is just saying, oh, it's not just a uniform policy, but you get an advantage. That seems crazy to me. I mean, this is not like, you remember back in the day, Michael Phelps, this was like a whole Olympics where like the swimmers were smashing records, and apparently it was some suit. I don't know if it like turned him into a seal or what happened, but all these records were getting smashed, and surprisingly they were saying it wasn't PEDs, that it was this suit that made them so aerodynamic that they could go faster through the water. You could probably tell from your boy, I'm not a swimmer, other than just, floating in the ocean or around Peanut Island or in the pool, like, but I'm not going for speed. I'm built for flotation, if anything. But it's for the NFL to come out and be like, oh, no, it's an advantage. Dude, let's be real about it, okay? It's Tyreek Hill, okay? Like, you really think you're adding a couple of miles per hour to that? A couple decimal points? Like, what do you think you're doing here? So, look, he says he's going to comply. I know he tried to pull a fast one last week with those sleeve sock thingies. I don't know what he was doing there, but I say go. I say keep letting him do it. I say keep going, no socks. Keep upping the fines. I think Stephen Ross should just have a pile of cash there as soon as Tyreek is back from the game. Cash right there in the locker room to make good for the fine. You keep it rolling. You don't mess with a good thing.